Welcome in to another live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Schultz here with you. So glad to have you with us. Got a great show on tap. We'll catch you up to speed on the Seahawks' latest roster moves, as they have added a few different players to the practice squad, had several workouts, also released somebody. We'll tell you about all of that and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Also, we'll go over a list of updated free agent targets. The Seahawks still with $13 million to spend after restructuring DK Metcalf's deal. We'll go over our updated list in just a little while from right now. We'll also preview this weekend's game against the Miami Dolphins, and we will do a Q&A Rumors mailbag as well coming up at the end of today's show. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling here today. And we got a fun one on tap here today. Smitty is here with me as well. We'll bring him in here in a couple moments. We want to know where you guys are watching from here on the program today. We're coming at you from the Chat Sports Studios here in downtown Dallas, Texas on this Wednesday afternoon. It is our Happy Hour Wednesday show, so we're going to enjoy ourselves and have a great time here today, but want to know where you guys are at. Let's see, checking in the chat right now. Ian says, hello all. Phobia says, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Ian in Auburn, Washington. Let's see. Buster Customs says, what's up? Busters, we missed you on Sunday, my man. Wasn't the same without you. Hope you're doing well, man. He's checking in from Roy, Washington. Brett is checking in. Says, Hawks' schedule looks weaker and weaker. Yeah, it looks a lot better with no Tua this week. Let's see. Got Mikey in Houston checking in from, you guessed it, in Houston. Matt in Toledo, Ohio. Got Seth in Phoenix. Corey in Japan. Ian shouting out Buster's Custom. Also got Mikey in Houston saying, go Hawks. Let us know where you're at. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling here. I got Daniel in North Carolina. Buster saying, hi, Ian. Got Board Skyler. Been a while since I've seen Board Skyler in here in Kelso, Washington. Mister says, who has the like to play a game on your phone? I don't know what that means. Is in Hawaii. Cheese. Mark in Wyoming, Pennsylvania. Rick in Cali. James in Tacoma. And then we got Cindy in Cameron Park, California. So people from all over the place checking in here on today's show. How many Seahawks cornerbacks all-time can you name? How many can you come up with? I want to see in the chat right now. Whoa, Busters! Okay, we'll get to Busters in a moment. That's an entrance right there. How many Seahawks corners can you name all time? If you had to come up with a number of, I want to see how many you guys can put together here of Seahawks corners, whether it's somebody that's played recently or maybe it was somebody that's played 30 years ago. How many can you come up with? A little challenge out there for the 12s today. Let's see how many you can come up with in your individual comment of the most. As Smitty joins me right now. Smitty, what a start as we have a $200 super chat. Bang! Bang! Busters! 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 Busters says get the party started. That's the way to get the party started. That's
the party you started, brother.
Yeah. We didn't see Busters on Sunday, but here he is saying, I'm here, I'm alive and well, and we're getting this party started. We're going down on a Wednesday.
Spam Busters in the chat. Absolute legend here at Seahawks Today. I mean, the impact that he's made in such a short period of time cannot be understated. Buster's Customs, an absolute king here at Seahawks Today.
Buster's Customs, that's 2 spots in the Emerald Club. You are well on your way to earning that helmet we're giving away at the end of the month to whoever bangs the most. Busters was working Sunday. No worries, Busters. Hopefully you had a good work day and still got to see some of that Seahawks game, Busters, and hopefully you can be here with us this upcoming Sunday. But Busters, let us know who you want to nominate for the Emerald Club. The offer today, by the way, on the Jungle Boot is Yes. Normally we do on our Wednesday shows boots for $200, but today I want to add a little incentive. I want to do a jungle boot for $300, and this certainly helps out our cause to get there. We're just now 100 away from a jungle boot. And you may be asking, what's the difference between a boot and a jungle boot? Well, a jungle boot is one with alcohol, with liquor filled in it, on top of just having your regular 3 beers. So we're already 100 away from that. Everybody spam Busters in the chat. Busters, let us know who you'd like to nominate for your Emerald Club entries here. And much appreciated. Thanks for getting the party started. And we're going to have a day today. We're going to enjoy ourselves here on this Wednesday afternoon. We're already starting off hot here for today's show. And before we go any further in today's show, let's tell you about our sponsor. That is Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have their super deals, and their super deals, folks, are just incredible. If you see a super deal, that's going to be one you don't want to pass up on. They also have their seat views, so you can get the visual, see what that seat is like. I am headed to Norman, Oklahoma this weekend for OU's first game in the SEC when they take on Tennessee. And Game Time is a great place to get tickets for that, or if you want to go to Seahawks games, whatever it may be. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not. Then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. All right. So Busters would like to nominate James Redding and Corey Conover to the Emerald Club.
Shout out to them.
James and Corey, everybody spam James, everybody spam Corey. You are the newest members of the Emerald Club, and this boot is getting filled up. Like, folks, we're just 2 weeks in, and look at this thing. I have never seen progress like this on a boot before. Buster Customs is a big reason why. Folks, Buster Customs, he has been just a man among boys since he joined us at the beginning of the preseason.
And a man of the people, too, as he's given so many opportunities to everybody to join the Emerald Club. It's awesome.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So with that, James and Corey, congrats on your entry into the Emerald Club. You'll forever be known as Emerald Club members on this show. Everybody, show some love to James and Corey. Spam them in the chat and welcome them to the Emerald Club as our newest members. And when we drink the boot, they'll be drinking with us every single time here on the program.
Now, did anybody get their cornerbacks in? Did anybody throw out any crazy names? I'm trying to see here. I know Buster's kind of took things over right when we started this challenge.
And that's fine.
Wanted to ask you guys, how many Seahawks cornerbacks can you name all time? I got names in the cat.
Smitty, how many do you think you can come up with?
All right, so I'll just start rattling them off.
Just go ahead and start rattling them off.
All right, Richard Sherman, Jeremy Lane, Ferrell Simon. We'll go with Marcus Trufant. We'll go. Give me something like Devon Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen to get going here. Trey Brown. Give me Mike Jackson. Give me, oh my goodness. Shaquille Griffin. Give me, there's some bad names. And like Trey Flowers.
That's 10.
Awful. Come on, I still got more in the tank. Give me some, Brandon Browner. Give me some Brandon Browner, the 6'4" monster. He's in jail right now.
Is he? I didn't know this.
Yeah, he's been in jail for a while. It was some, I forget what it was, but his old Seahawks teammates do visit him, and they are very supportive. And he was going through a very rough time, and that's what got him ended up in there. But I rattled off 11 or 12 right there, and that was just off the dome.
So can anybody do more than Smitty? Smitty did 12. Is the number that he came up with. Can anybody do more than 12 corners that they can come up with?
I guess Kobe Bryant counts. Artie Burns, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Phobia getting involved with the Super Chat. Man, we haven't even come close to starting these segments yet, and you guys are already coming in hot. Outcast with a lot of names there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
That was the one that I was circling the brains, and I was trying to remember. Deshaun Shed.
So Outcast has got 15. That's the most of anybody so far. Outcast, the leader in the clubhouse there. Phobia with a $10 Super Chat for the 12s. That's a shot. I'll take a shot for Phobia, and that puts us only $90 away from the Jungle Boot. Cheers to you, Phobia. Thanks for supporting the show. Glad to have you here. Go ahead and change the beer bong to 20, actually. Yeah. There's the first shot of the day. Woo! There we go. Super Chat menu, if you want to get involved in today's show like Phobia or like Buster Customs, here is how you can do so. First-time Super Chatters, you get the Seahawks chant. $5, we will sing the old Macdonald song. $10, we will take some shots. $20 gets you a beer bong. $50, we'll do some Seahawks sauce. And if we reach 300 collectively, which we're about 90 away from, then we will do a Jungle Boot before the end of today's show. Smitty, let's get the chat fired up here. Yeah. I need everybody spamming S for this next minute. I already got over 100 people watching, but I know we can do better than that. I know we can get more people in here. So let's help out the algorithm a bit. Let's spam S as much as we possibly can over this next minute. Smitty's going to shout all the S's, and then we'll get going here with today's show. So without further ado, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spam S.
Come on, who do you got? I haven't seen any S's so far yet. We've been talking about this challenge for just a little bit. As Phobia gets the first one in, and he's off and running. Spam S down in the chat. Let's make it look like Lumen Field. The more pop in our chat is, the more volume we're seeing in the chat means more people are going to see our stream on YouTube.
And
put it out to more people.
And I am still doing that 5K. I've just been very busy. I will take care of it. I promise.
Ryan Gutierrez, Ian Herron, Chieferton, Douglas Perrine. We got Billy Berger. We got Phobia. We got Sage421. We got Banana in the chat. Let's go. Keep spamming those S's. Ryan,
keep going.
Fred Palmer, Phobia, Banana, Chieferton, Ryan, Banana, Ryan, James Redding, DK saying what up. What up, DK? Leonardo Rodriguez asking if Kenneth Walker practiced today. Here we go. Patrick Sanders, Matrix, Phobia, Outcast. Oh, Sidney Jones, he was bad. Chieferton, Jake Van Beek, Matrix, Banana, Ian, Phobia, Matrix, Chieferton, Ian. I'm seeing the same names. Board Skylar, a new name in the mix. Come on. Keep it going. Phobia, Ian, Matrix, they're the leaders in the clubhouse right now. Chieferton as well. Jake Van Beek.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds, Banana. 10 seconds, Board Skylar. Phobia, Matrix, Ryan, Jake, Chieferton, Banana, Jake, Matrix, Fred. You guys killed it. Leonardo, nice. Jonathan, shout out to y'all.
Good work. Good work, everybody. Getting those S's in the chat. I got 40 likes. Oh, I need to get to 50 to start today's show. And we do have some Super Chats will pay off here in just a moment as well. But like the video, I will take a nice chug of this Cold Coolers Light when we get to 50 likes. But we need you guys to do your part. Like the video. 9 away, and then we'll get this show started. Yasher. Been a minute since we've seen you, Yasher. Glad to have you back, man. He says, it's not about the cornerbacks. It's about the Legion of Boom.
Boom!
You know, we did a whole video yesterday. If you haven't seen it yet, it's on the channel. Breaking down, it's very strange, Smitty, how similar these Seahawks statistics are through the first 2 weeks, comparatively speaking, to the 2013 Legion of Boom teams.
Yeah, the number, I'm not going to lie. When you said that you were making that video yesterday, I was a little bit taken aback. I was like, are we really doing this? Are we really comparing them to what I believe to be the greatest defense of all time?
You think that 2013 specifically?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think there's the greatest defense that's ever graced an NFL field. And I was like, Tyler, you're crazy for making these comparisons, but the numbers stack up through 2 weeks. Now, albeit Seahawks aren't playing this year much great competition through 2 weeks.
All right. Like those first 2 weeks in 2013, they faced Cam Newton and Colin Kaepernick.
Two of the elite quarterbacks in the league back then.
This year, they face Bo Nix and Jacoby Brissett.
So a little bit different, but the numbers, they stack up. So we'll see if this Seahawks team can continue those great trends.
Buster's got his jersey, by the way, his Witherspoon jersey. Great to hear, Buster's. Hope you enjoy it. Hopefully you find a good place for it.
Fire me up, Busters.
Much appreciated. Thanks, Busters, for that. Glad you got that jersey. We owe Yasher the old Macdonald song.
Yep.
Old Macdonald had a farm, C-I-E-I Hawks.
And we will be running it right back as Matrix with a $5 super chat coming in.
Sorry I haven't been watching live, but go Hawks. You guys are killing it. Matrix. Thanks for contributing to the show. You are killing it, man. I think we got to change it up to the DK song now.
All right. Here we go.
And by the way, before we do, how about DK on Sunday?
Pretty solid, pretty solid. A little bit of inflated stats because he had that 160-yard touchdown where nobody decided to guard him, but I'm not going to argue with it. Not going to argue with DK filling out the stat sheet, getting in the end zone. Absolutely not. Look, hopefully he continues that.
Hopefully so. We're going to talk more about DK coming up later in our game preview. Choppin', Mike Max choppin', Joe passes, no one stopping. DK, touchdowns all day. Heroes. Thank you, Matrix. Much appreciated with that. All right, let's go ahead and get this show started, shall we? Beta YT in the chat now. Sorry I arrived. I was doing a Zoom with someone. Beta, were you on a Zoom date? What was going on there? I need some details. Were you getting a new job? What were you doing, Beta, on the Zoom? I'm very curious. Hopefully things are well with you, Beta. Good to see you. Coming up on today's show, we'll go over the latest roster moves involving your Seattle Seahawks as they made some changes today. Also have a list of updated free agent targets. We'll preview the Seahawks and Dolphins matchup, and we will do a Q&A rumors mailbag as well. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of the show. Pablo is here as well. Says, what's up, Tyler Jones and Smitty? Good to see you, Pablo.
What up?
Always a pleasure, my friend. Let's go ahead and get started with the Seahawks' latest roster moves. Remember, this is the one that I want you to come on screen during the sub battle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. So prepare accordingly. Go to 2box or whatever. Yeah. Give you a minute. I'll give you a minute for that. Up next, we'll go over roster moves and the Seahawks with a few changes today. We'll catch up with those in just a moment. So stay tuned for that. Ian shouting out Beta. Everybody loves Beta YT. Beta's a great guy. Beta, we still got to play each other in College Football 25. When are we going to make that happen, man? Remember, get your questions in for the mailbag segment. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat for the mailbag we'll be bringing you coming up later on. Let's go ahead and get started. Catch up to speed with the latest roster moves on your Seattle Seahawks. That begins right now here on Seahawks Today. You're watching Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Schultz here with you. Thanks for joining us as we bring you the latest roster updates on your Seattle Seahawks. They made some changes to the roster with players they brought in. They worked out a few others. They also moved on from somebody. We'll tell you about all that and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, all this week leading up to this Sunday's game against the Miami Dolphins, we are doing a sub-battle between our Seahawks channel and our Dolphins channel, hosted by Nick Roloff. And I bring Smitty into the program now, and you may be wondering, Smitty, what are you doing here? Well, Smitty, you happen to know the one and only Nick Roloff very well. Not only are you guys coworkers, but you went to college together, and so I figured you were the right man to bring in for a little smack talk here. Tell us what we need to know on Rolly here.
Absolutely. First off, if we're going to associate one word with Nick Roloff, it's fraud, all right? The guy is a fraud, and we're going to take him down on Sunday. Those lowly Dolphins running Skylar Thompson at quarterback. Roloff thinks that they're still somehow going to pull out a win. I've been telling him he's crazy all week, and he's going to find out that he's an absolute psychopath on Sunday. And we are going to bury him all game long. F. Rolly, he's a fraud. Sub to the channel. Let's beat him in the sub battle, and let's beat him on Sunday because the guy is absolutely insane.
So, for somebody that's known Rolly for quite some time, you've heard it first. Absolute fraud.
This isn't a new development. I've known the guy for 5 years now. 5 years.
There you have it.
Psycho.
Sub to the channel, spam F Rolly, and we'll get started with today's show. The Seahawks with a number of roster moves, as within the last 24 hours, they've worked out a total of 6 players. They signed 3, and then they also released defensive tackle Quentin Bohannon off the practice squad. So let's tell you about these workouts and also the players they ended up signing. They worked out Ian Book, the former quarterback out of Notre Dame, who has one career start with the New Orleans Saints, most recently with the Kansas City Chiefs, spent training camp with them. They also worked out Denzel Mims, who was a second-round pick by the New York Jets out of the University of Baylor. They worked out Miles Boykin, the wide receiver formerly of the Baltimore Ravens. They also worked out wide receiver Jalen Gill, cornerback Tyler Hull, and they also worked out wide receiver Tanner New, I believe is how you pronounce his last name there. So with that, there's the workouts. Now, who did they sign? Well, they ended up signing Miles Boykin. They also signed Britton Brown, a running back. And then Marquise Blair is making his return again. He has been signed as well to the practice squad. Now, it doesn't mean they won't sign the other guys that they've worked out, but at least for now, these are the three that they've decided to roll with. Now, based on all of those workouts, and then on top of that, the signing of Miles Boykin, clearly the Seahawks are interested in some wide receiver help, that they're looking at their options to the wide receiver position. And if you look at Boykin, he's somebody that has had a few moments over the years. A few. 2019 third-round pick out of Notre Dame by the Ravens. Previously played for the Steelers as well as the Giants. A lot of experience. 73 career games played with 25 starts in the National Football League. And you look at his career statistics, not a bad number for his average yards per reception, 13.1. He's had 7 touchdowns, close to 500 receiving yards, 38 catches. He's starting on the practice squad, but of any of the guys we've mentioned here, he's the one that's got the best shot to potentially get that elevation to the active roster for the Seattle Seahawks. My grade for these moves that the Seahawks made, I mean, you didn't really move the needle. You didn't get a whole lot better, but you didn't hurt yourselves either. I'm going to go with a solid B-. I think that's more than fair to go with a B- for this grade of what they've done. I think Boykin is by far their best move here. Makes a lot of sense. We'll go over these a little more in detail here in just a moment, but want to hear from you guys. How would you grade the signing of Miles Boykin? A, B, C, D, or F, weigh in the comments section. Get your grades in and let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the best place to go. For the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time's got it all. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's going to be one you don't want to pass up on. They also have their seat views, so you can get the visual, see what your seat is like. Maybe you want to go to a Seahawks game, potentially this weekend against the Dolphins, or you want to go see the Mariners, the Seattle Storm, whatever it may be. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. Then you choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, and then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. So now I want to shift our focus back to Ian Book, who the Seahawks worked out. They haven't signed him. Doesn't mean they won't sign him. But I thought it was a little odd that the Seahawks even gave a workout to Ian Book, if we're going to be honest with you. I almost called him Ian, like he's Ian Eagle or something. Anyways, I think, honestly, I look at where the Seahawks are at the quarterback position, and this is the best I have felt about this quarterback room in a long time. That's why Book here doesn't make a ton of sense to me. 2021 fourth-round pick out of Notre Dame by the Saints. Had stints with the Eagles, the Patriots, most recently with the Chiefs. And he started one game back when he was with the Saints. And let's just say it did not go very well. A completion percentage of 60%, 2 interceptions, 135 passing yards, and no touchdowns. I didn't even like the guy when he said Notre Dame, to be honest with you. And now here he is, a journeyman in the NFL. The quarterbacks for Seattle, here's how you break down the situation, all right? Geno's off to a great start to this season, and he is a natural fit in this offense and what Ryan Grubb's wanting to do. He's gelling with his receivers. Run game and offensive line could use a little help, but Geno looks pretty good. So you're not trying to replace Geno by any stretch, and he's fully healthy, so it's not like you need another quarterback in there for that sake. Sam Howell looked fantastic, I thought, in the preseason. He's shown that he's more than capable of being a quality backup quarterback in this league, and he's not replacing Geno anytime soon, but if his name is called upon, I think the Seahawks have seen enough from Sam Howell that they can feel pretty confident in his abilities. And then there's Jaren Hall, who's your practice squad quarterback, and you could argue that Jaren Hall showed enough with Minnesota that he should be a number 2 quarterback somewhere in this league, that he's better than a lot of the number 2 quarterbacks. And he's a young guy, of course, came out of BYU a couple of years ago. I think that all three are a really good fit for this Seahawks team right now. You look at Geno's statistics. Last week, led the league in passing yards, over 300. He's got close to 500 for the season. His completion percentage is the highest of his entire career at close to 74%. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Geno's playing pretty well. I don't see this quarterback room changing. I know they gave the workout to Ian Book, but I don't think that Ian Book's getting signed. I don't think they're going to bring in another quarterback, and honestly, I don't think they should worry about bringing in another quarterback at this point in time. I think that this quarterback room looks like they're in good shape. Does that mean that they're not going to bring in another quarterback next offseason? That doesn't mean that at all. We'll have that discussion when we get to that point. But at least right now, I'm pretty confident what I've seen from Geno Smith and this quarterback room. What's your confidence level in the Seahawks quarterback right now? Scale it for me 1 through 10. I got to tell you, I would give this for Geno right now. I'm feeling so good. I got to go with an 8 out of 10. And that might be a little high, but I like what I've seen. And I think the best is still yet to come for Geno Smith here in 2024. If you enjoyed today's show, you got to subscribe. And we got to win the sub battle. We got to beat Rolly this week, folks. You heard about the fraud that he is. Smitty gave you everything you needed to know about him. Subscribe now and never miss a moment. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today. All right. So, back to Geno now. What is your confidence level in the Seahawks QB? Scale it 1 through 10. Brett says 10. Travis is still getting his S's in from the beginning of the show. Phobia says 9. Buster says 8+. Billy says 7. Ian says 8. I really like Geno in this offense so far. Mike says 9 is his confidence in Geno. Smitty rejoins me right now. Smitty, I got to tell you, I like what I've seen from Geno. The Seahawks, if the offensive line can just figure the hell out, I think Geno's going to be okay and have a very good year.
Yeah, I'm going to give him about a 7.5, 8 because this is the same Geno that I saw 2 seasons ago, back at 22. It seems like that's the case a lot more so than last year's Geno Smith. I mean, maybe that has to do with a bit of improved offensive line play. Charles Cross is available now relative to where he was at last year.
And Cross is looking great.
Cross is looking fantastic. I mean, Connor Williams had a good game against Denver, at least, bad against New England, but Geno's been protected better this season than he was last year, and that as a result, he looks more so like the 2022 version of himself.
Yeah, I think so. Jake says 9. Keith says 9. Rilo DeMagic Music says 8.6.
See, if I was to give him a 9, that would be me believing that he could lead this team to a Super Bowl this year. And
yeah.
I'm not so sure that I'm there yet.
Not quite there yet, but I like what I've seen. Banana says Geno 8. James says 9. Banana also says O-line a 3. Busters is also saying, Smitty, your volume's low.
My bad. I didn't think it was that low. All right. Okay. I'm up a little bit.
He's back. Beta YT. Good to see you, my guy. Beta, are you still working at Pepsi? When are we playing College Football 25, Beta? How long you think people will keep overlooking the Seahawks? Shoot, I hope they do. We always seem to win when overlooked. So I've been looking at these power rankings that the experts are doing. And, you know, we always do our own here at Chat Sports that we vote on each and every week. And Tom Downey does those videos on our main channel. I'm a voter. Smitty's a voter. About everybody in the company gets their votes in each week. And everything I've seen, the Seahawks are viewed as about a top 8 team right now, according to most of these power rankings.
He was on, they were 8th on Colin Cowherd's herd hierarchy.
Yeah. I think they were 8th in the Chat Sports rankings this week.
Oh, cool.
If you go up to 3-0, then the overlooking days are over. If you go up to 3-0, I don't care if you faced Skylar Thompson, Bo Nix, and Jacoby Brissett. You're going to have the league's full attention. You're going to have everybody talking about you. 3-0 is not to be taken lightly. And you think about it, taking it even a step further, Smitty, I said this before the year began, and I still think this now. 10 wins guarantees you a playoff spot. You get to 3, you're almost a quarter of a way there at that point.
I mean, the Seahawks, if they
you're over a quarter,
if they're to go 3-0, they'd have to go like what, 6 and 8 to end the season, in order to not have a playoff or not win 10 games. I'd find that very hard to believe that if the Seahawks starts 3-0, they're going to end the season 6-8.
Yeah. And 9-8 might actually get you into the postseason, but 10-7 definitely does.
Absolutely.
So, Beta, we'll give you the Mike Macdonald song for your $5 super chat. Much appreciated. For Beta. Old Macdonald had a farm, C-I-E-I Hawks. There you go, Beta YT. Thanks for sending that super chat, man. Super chat menu, if you want to get involved in the action. We're at $225 in super chats right now. And there's another. So that brings our total to $230 now. We are 70 away from a jungle boot here on today's show. How quickly will you guys make me do this jungle boot? I feel like it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when at this point. First time super chatters, you'll get the Seahawks chant. $5 will sing you the old McDonald song. $10 will do some shots. $20 do a beer bong. $50 we will get sauced with the Seahawks sauce. And you also, with your super chats, can get your questions in the mailbag. You can also use the hashtag Seahawks to get your questions in the mailbag as well. Super chats will get priority. Matrix with a $5 super chat. And then I see Pablo as well. Matrix says, with what you've seen so far with the Seahawks in the first 2 weeks, what is your record for them? You know, I think 10-7 is very reasonable right now because I feel very confident the Seahawks are going to win this week against the Dolphins. And then you go up to 3-0. And then at that point, like Smitty mentioned, you got to win, 6-7 games down the stretch?
Yeah, you got to win 7 of your next 14.
So I got to go 500 the rest of the year.
You got to go 500 the rest of the year. I'm in. I think 10-7. It was my preseason prediction. I'll stick with it. I'll go 10-7 for that record. Let's go to the DK song for Matrix. For Matrix. Choppin', Mike Max choppin', Geno passes, no one stoppin', DK, touchdowns all day, he rolls. Thank you, Matrix. Much appreciated. Pablo with a $10 super chat. That's a shot. I'll take this for Pablo. We'll include this in the mailbag. Jordan Brooks' return to the Seattle Seahawks. Jalen Ramsey, former Ram, returns to Seattle. Let's go Seahawks. So I was going to talk about Jordan Brooks later. I will go into more in depth on this, so I won't say too much. Smitty can chime in, though, by all means. I'm very much looking forward to facing Jordan Brooks, and I know that he actually played decent in coverage last week, but we all know full and well the real Jordan Brooks that exists. I think that if you're the Seahawks, I'd be throwing right in the direction of Jordan Brooks. Throw it at
go into the middle of the field, and capitalize and take advantage of it.
I saw him guard, and I don't know if it was a receiver. I think it was a receiver. I believe it was Khalil Shakir on this deep corner route to the end zone, and Jordan Brooks was with him the entire way. Broke up the pass actually at the end of it. I didn't see him do that one time.
Not once.
In 4 years as a Seahawk. 4 years. Didn't see it once.
Yeah.
Now he's all of a sudden this insane coverage linebacker with the Dolphins. Make it make sense. Maybe it was Clint Hurt. Maybe it was the bad defensive coordination that Seattle has had the past couple of years. But man, it's annoying to me to see a guy who we wanted to be so good in coverage be so good in coverage elsewhere just 1 or 2 games in.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it with my own eyes. I think the Seahawks have a great opportunity here this upcoming week to really go after him.
C-Fan, yeah, it is me, brother. It is me, my man.
So, you see, for those asking, like C-Fan, where has Smitty been? We're a little short-staffed at the moment.
A lot of moving parts.
Smitty has been pulled a million directions. Let's put it that way. He's been doing some Giant stuff.
It might be under pushing it. I mean, it might be 1,000,001, to be honest with you. I've been so many friggin' places.
He's been doing Giants. He's been doing Warriors, and you've been doing other channels too.
I was on Patriots at one point. I was on Chiefs at one point. I mean, it is just everywhere, man. I'm everywhere.
So that's what's going on. Smitty has not betrayed us by any stretch. He is been just worked a lot lately. We'll put it that way. He's earning his paycheck.
I'm going to be here as much as I can all season long, trust
me. He wants to be here, but hey, we're a little short-staffed at the moment, so that's what's going on. So, guys, when you super chat, then we can hire more people. That way Smitty can be around here more.
That'd be nice.
That's how that works. We don't get the money that comes from super chats or anything like that. That goes straight back to the company so we can hire more folks. All right, up next, free agent targets. Let's talk about who the Seahawks could potentially bring in with $13 million to spend. We'll also preview the Seahawks' upcoming matchup with the Miami Dolphins, and then we'll get to a mailbag segment as well before the end of today's show. All that and more as we roll along. Let's get started with our free agent target segment right now here on Seahawks Today. Is a big move coming? Welcome in to Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. The Seahawks have over $13 million in cap space since they restructured DK Metcalf's contract. So it makes you wonder, what are they going to do with said money? You wouldn't be moving around that cash just to put it in a different wallet. They obviously have something in mind. Is it a free agent signing? Is it for a trade at the trade deadline? Are they going to extend somebody? What are they going to do? We are going to break down 5 potential free agent targets that could sign with the Seahawks with that extra money they have to spend. We'll get to that coming up in just a moment. Before we do, I got a challenge for the 12s today. Can we set a record for the most new subscribers we have ever picked up on a video for the month of September? And I got to say, we've been growing at a great rate. Over 2,000 plus subs in the last 28 days here on the channel, folks. I want to see, can we get 200 of you to subscribe to Seahawks Today? We're live every game day. We're bringing you our daily news and rumors, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. It's all in one place. If you are a real member of the 12s, then you got to join the 12s and subscribe now to Seahawks Today. Join the family, subscribe for free. We'll get started with today's show. Let's begin with David Bakhtiari at the offensive tackle position. And I'll be honest, this is a name that a couple of weeks ago I would have said the chances were pretty slim of signing him. But things have changed for the Seahawks in recent memory, as you had the injury to George Fant on top of the injury to Abraham Lucas. And the Seahawks didn't have a ton of cap space a couple of weeks ago. Then they moved DK's money around. All of a sudden, they got $13 million to spend. And we don't know when Abe is coming back. We're still waiting on George Fant to get healthy. And that right side of the line has a ton of issues. This would be a great solution for what the Seahawks need right now. And even if Abe comes back, even if George Fant comes back pretty soon, you bring in Bakhtiari, and all of a sudden you got depth. You got some options to work with. Now, Bakhtiari has made it known he wants to play for a contending team, that he wants to do what he can to win a Super Bowl this year. Well, the Seahawks are 2-0 right now. They're about to be 3-0 after this week when they beat the Miami Dolphins. Bakhtiari, this Seahawks team means business. You want to play for a pretty good football team that could use your help? The Seahawks could be exactly what you're looking for. A 2-time first-team All-Pro, a 3-time Pro Bowler. He is coming off a knee injury, though, that forced him to miss most of 2023. You go back to 2022, that was the last time that we saw Bakhtiari a decent amount, as in 11 games he played close to 600 snaps. His grades, solid, close to 80 overall. a pass block grade of 87.8, a run block grade of 68.5. Bakhtiari, I don't think would be a bad option at all if you're Seattle. Let's ask you on our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in, let us know. Should the Seahawks sign Bakhtiari or not? S for sign, P for pass. Weigh in, let us know. Up next on our list, a name that's very familiar to Seahawk fans. Phil Haynes is available at the offensive guard spot. And you look at the offensive guard spots. Here is a reality that the Seahawks might have to accept at the offensive guard position. Laken Tomlinson, he's been cheeks. He's been terrible to start the season. Anthony Bradford hasn't been very good either. We'll see what Christian Haynes does. It's been a very small, limited sample size. If this group does not improve, then you got to start thinking about other options like potentially Bakhtiari, or in this case, Phil Haynes, actually, as that potential solution here. Phil Haynes, been in Seattle previously, 2019 fourth-round pick out of Wake Forest, plenty of experience, 31 career games played with 13 starts. We've seen Phil Haynes look pretty decent at times. We've seen him struggle as well. Last season, in over 400 snaps, his grades were not that great. His strength was pass blocking, 59.4. Run blocking grade of 53.6. Overall grade of 52. But of the potential options at that guard spot right now, the options are pretty slim. Phil Haynes might be the best you can do, and he probably still has his house here and everything. He could probably get here pretty quickly and join this team if you want to go that direction, bring in Phil Haynes. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose two or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, home runs in baseball, all sorts of different categories to choose from. Prize Picks has got this great new deal, folks. Get this. When you use the promo code CLNS, you'll get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So this week on Prize Picks, I'm taking advantage of the Caleb Williams more than half a passing yard square. That's basically a freebie. You got to jump on that. Travis Kelce, I think, has a bounce-back week this week. I'll go with the more on his receiving yards at 58.5. And then I got our guy Jaxon Smith-Njigba to have more than 49.5 receiving yards. He's off to a good start to this season. If I put $20 down and all these hit, that turns into $100 on Prize Picks, folks. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of Seahawks Today. Up next, we find edge rusher Yannick Ngakoue. And Yannick Ngakoue, he is somebody that I've mentioned in the past, I feel like can fit exactly what Mike Macdonald is looking to do with this Seahawks defense of an edge rusher that's a veteran, that's cheap, but can get after the quarterback. And for me, I've always been of the belief you can't have too many pass rushers. We've already seen Uchenna and Nwosu get banged up. We've already seen Boye Mafe get banged up. Why not Yannick Ngakoue at this point? Maybe start on the practice squad and then elevate him to the active roster and potentially go from there. The 2016 third-round pick out of Maryland by the Jags has been a journeyman. He's played with the Vikings, the Ravens, the Raiders, the Colts, and the Bears. His best season, you have to go back to 2017 when he was a Pro Bowler, also led the league in forced fumbles that season. And with Yannick Ngakoue, it's kind of similar to what we talked to with Darrell Taylor, but in this case, it would be much cheaper than Darrell Taylor, as Yannick Ngakoue is just looking for kind of a cheap, prove-it contract of sorts. He's coming off a season where he had 4 sacks, and that's not what he was accustomed to. You go back to his previous years, 9.5 in 2022, 10 in 2021, 8 in 2020. I think he still can do those numbers that he did between 2020 and 2022. And Mike Macdonald is the right coach to potentially get that out of him and maximize his capabilities. He's done it with guys like Jadeveon Clowney, Kyle Van Noy, Justin Houston. I don't see why he couldn't do it with Yannick Ngakoue, and he's coached up Yannick Ngakoue before. Should the Seahawks sign Yannick Ngakoue? What do you think? Y for yes, N for no. Weigh in that comment section. Let us know what you think about that idea. Next up, we shift to the linebacker position. We find Shaq Leonard on the list, and Shaq Leonard's still available for a team to sign in free agency. In the linebacker position, we've already seen a fair share of injuries at this point, with Jerome Baker already banged up. Terrell Dotson, of course, had some injuries in the offseason, and the longer you wait, if, let's say, that you pass on Shaq Leonard now, somebody else could get him. And what if we're talking about, God forbid, November rolls around and Baker and Dotson aren't healthy? Then what? Why not go ahead and get Shaq Leonard now and stack him and have him ready to go just in case something like that happens? Shaq Leonard, a 2018 second-round pick out of South Carolina State, previously played for the Eagles, a three-time first-team All-Pro as recently as 2021. And his best season, you can see back in 2020, had the 3 sacks. 2021, the year after, 122 tackles. He's been a tackling machine. He's been a good football player. Is he what he used to be? No, but that's not what you need if you're the Seahawks when looking at a backup linebacker. Last on our list, our 5th player and our 5th different position option is the corner spot with J.C. Jackson. J.C. Jackson, a former undrafted free agent out of Maryland in 2018. And, when you look at this corner spot, I know what I'm getting out of Devon Witherspoon. I know what I'm getting out of Rick Woolen. Those guys have been awesome. They're 2 of the best young corners in football. I would argue they very well may be the best young corner duo in football. But then once we start to go beyond there, you have some question marks. Trey Brown, can he be consistent week in and week out? Or one of these younger guys going to step in and be able to get the job done? J.C. Jackson might be a good body to have as a potential backup option. A former Super Bowl champion, a Pro Bowler as recently as 2021, previously with the Patriots and the Chargers. And you look at his numbers, you don't have to go back very far. 2021, that year he was a Pro Bowler, 8 interceptions, folks. That's a lot. 2022 only played in 5 games. 2023 played in 10 games with 9 pass breakups and 1 interception. J.C. Jackson, I'm surprised, still available at this point in time. And I don't think it would be the worst idea in the world potentially give him a chance and see what you can do from there and kind of stack up that corner room just a little bit further. So we've gone through the list. I've given you 5 potential options of who the Seahawks could sign. Now it's your chance to weigh in here on the show. Who is a player the Seahawks should sign in NFL free agency, whether it's somebody we talked about or somebody we didn't talk about today? Let us know in that comment section below. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now to Seahawks Today for the latest happenings on your favorite team. We're going to be live coming up this Sunday for the Seahawks matchup with the Miami Dolphins. Our coverage begins bright and early at 2 o'clock Central Time, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, with our hour-long pregame show. Big Tex is going to be here with me. We will see you then right here on Seahawks Today. All right, up next, we'll get to our game preview for Seahawks and Dolphins. Then we'll get to our mailbag segment. But let's ask you guys, should the Seahawks sign David Bakhtiari? S for sign, P for pass. Smitty rejoins you right now. Smitty, what do you think about bringing in Bakhtiari here?
Well, Bakhtiari, remember, we talked about him a couple weeks ago, and he said if he was going to come back this year, he wants to play for a Super Bowl contender. Guess what? Seattle's 2-0, baby.
Things have changed.
Things have changed.
The perception on this team is different than what it was 2 weeks ago.
I agree. And so I think that David Bakhtiari, I'd welcome him to Seattle. Listen, there's no telling when Abraham Lucas is going to be back in the lineup, or there's no telling when he's going to be at full strength, or if he's ever going to be at full strength. David Bakhtiari, he's been on the shelf for a while. Seems like he's ready to go right now. I'd be down.
We asked you guys. S for side, P for pass. Billy says no. Peyton says no. Buster says no. Brett says no. Nathan says sign. Ian says pass. Tommy says sign. James says sign. For those of you that say pass, I'm very curious. Why do you not want David Bakhtiari? Is it the age? Is it the injuries? Or do you feel comfortable with what we got right now? I'm very curious what you guys think. Beta says sign. And speaking of Beta, he sent in a super chat. He's ready to play me in college football 25 whenever. Still working at Pepsi. I love me some Pepsi. Smitty, I'm a Dr. Pepper guy first and foremost, but I'm Pepsi over Coke.
I'm Pepsi over Coke as well, and I've always been Pepsi over Coke. Pepsi is the #1 soda in my book as far as just what I'm going to grab if I can find something. I'm not a big soda guy in general, so if I see a Pepsi ice cold on a hot summer day, I'm all the way in.
Oh, you have to drink pop cold.
Yes.
Give
absolutely.
me some crushed ice for that Dr. Pepper or that Pepsi. You got the right idea. Beta says, sorry, I've been busy. Hey, no worries. Beta, always a pleasure. Anytime the chance you're here.
You're always welcome.
You're always welcome, Beta. We love you. We owe you the old Macdonald song. Much appreciated. Beta, here you go. Old Macdonald had a farm, C-I-E-I Hawks. And then Beta says, Pepsi way over Coke, in my opinion. Coke actually makes me throw up. Oh, well, that's not good. Super Chat menu. We are at $245 right now. We are 55 away from the Jungle Boot with 2 more segments to go. So we're within striking distance. We're getting very close, but we need your help to get there. 54 away. 54. Can't do math. 54 away from a Jungle Boot. It's 3 beers and 1 plus some liquor and right out of this thing. So we'll see if you guys can make it happen before the end of today's show. Cheers. Up next, it's game preview time. Oh, Nitsu with a $10 super chat. Nitsu with a update with a super chat, $10 super chat. Here we go. We'll throw it on screen here in just a moment. Dustin says, any news on K9? No, I got nothing for you on K9. I wish we had some news on K9. Unfortunately, we do not. Nitsu, your jersey is on the way. Our shipping department shipped out a bunch of stuff on Friday. So your jersey should be coming very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that. I didn't have your name, though, when you submitted, so I had to put Nitsu Trigger in the mail. So hopefully that's okay, Nitsu. But he says, Seahawks own the west side. Note, Tyler, any update on the jerseys? Yes. So be on the lookout, Nitsu. Your jersey should be coming very soon. Everything was shipped out on Friday as far as that goes. But Nitsu, I will take a shot for that. Thanks for sending in that $10 super chat, my guy. Much appreciated. And go Hawks. Now we are 55 away from, or still can't do math, 45 away from the Jungle Boot here on the show with 2 segments to go. Without further ado, let's go ahead and preview Sunday's matchup between the Seahawks and the Dolphins. Smitty, before we get this thing started, what do you think about this matchup, Seahawks and Dolphins here?
It's Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
Ball up top. Let's go. Like, come on. Let's be. I don't have to say anything else other than Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care if they have the best receiver in the NFL on the other side. I could give 2 shits if they have the best receiving duo in the NFL, and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Skylar Thompson can't get the ball to them. So let's.
We can't be losing Skylar Thompson this week.
Season is actually off the rails if we lose to Skylar Thompson. Like at 2-1, I'm actually calling the season over if we lose to Skylar Thompson. Because how are you going to beat the rest of the competition in the NFL if you can't get past Skylar?
This is going to be the worst quarterback you face all year.
Worst quarterback you play all year, right here, right now. Actually, I don't know. Skylar Thompson might be better than Bo Nix. I'm not sure yet. Jury's still out.
Yeah. Fair point. All right, let's talk about it now. Week 3, Dolphins and Seahawks. Busters, yours should be coming here soon, too, some more stuff. I know you already got the Witherspoon jersey. Our shipping department sent out multiple things, so be on the lookout. Should be coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. Check your mailbox there. Week 3, Dolphins, Seahawks. Let's talk about it right now here on this edition of Seahawks Today. It is week number 3 of the National Football League. Your Seattle Seahawks set to do some business against the Miami Dolphins after a 2-0 start to the season. Can Seattle begin the year 3-0. We will preview this game, give you my keys to victory. We'll go over the injury report. Also, my prediction for this one coming up at the end of today's show. The Seahawks come into Sunday's matchup as a 4.5-point favorite. Skylar Thompson getting the start at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins with Tua out due to the concussion. This is likely going to be the worst quarterback you will face all season long. You're at home. There's no excuse to be losing a game like this, folks. The over-under set at 41. If you want the Seahawks to win, do your part. Like the video, don't jinx it. We've been doing this the last 2 weeks, and it's worked 2 weeks in a row. So, why mess with that mojo? If we get at least 500 likes on today's video, that guarantees victory. Do your part. Like the video. Don't jinx it, and we'll get going here on Seahawks Today. Let's begin with the injury report for Seattle. Likely no Uchenna Nwosu, still recovering from the MCL injury. While George Fant also likely not going to play with the knee injury at the time of this recording. Pharaoh Brown, questionable with the foot injury. Meanwhile, Kenneth Walker III with the oblique injury, also questionable. Jerome Baker with the hamstring injury, he remains questionable, as does Boye Mafe with the knee injury. Meanwhile, the Miami Dolphins are pretty banged up themselves as their quarterback Tua with the concussion. He is out and he is on IR. That's why we'll see Skylar Thompson. Malik Washington with the quads injury. He is questionable. Raheem Mostert, their running back, with a chest injury. He is questionable. Jeff Wilson with the oblique injury is questionable. And Terrion Armstead with the shoulder injury. He is also questionable as well for Miami. So 5 total players on the injury report for the Dolphins. So without further ado, let's begin with our keys to victory. What's it going to take for a Seahawks win? Well, let's start with the backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Attack, attack, attack Skylar Thompson, folks. The Seahawks are going to need to do whatever it takes to make this a rough day on Skylar Thompson. I would blitz like crazy. I would load the box and just make life a living hell for Skylar Thompson. The former K-State quarterback, 7th-round pick, has done absolutely nothing since he's been in the NFL. 8 games played with a completion percentage of 57%. I remember him in that playoff game a couple years ago against the Bills. Was just awful. 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 614 yards. He has not been good. 3 things in particular I'm watching for if I'm the Seahawks as far as the game plan goes against Skylar Thompson. Don't let him start fast. Don't let him get comfortable and get this fake bit of poise as far as that goes. Force Thompson into multiple turnovers, get him flustered, get those extra possessions, and finish pressures with sacks. That's been a point of emphasis for Mike Macdonald, is that getting after the quarterback is nice, but you got to take it a step further and finish the job. That's one thing he's talked about with Devon Witherspoon, among others, is finishing pressures with sacks. If they do those things, they'll do a great job of containing Skylar Thompson. Who do you got? Seahawks or Dolphins? Type S for Seahawks, type D for Dolphins. Get your predictions in now. Let us know how you think this game's going to play out. We're going to be live on Seahawks Today for the Seahawks matchup against the Miami Dolphins coming up Sunday afternoon, live on the channel with our hour-long pregame show at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. Kickoff to follow at 1:05 Pacific, 4:05 Eastern. Big Tex is going to be here with me as well. Make sure and join us. Seahawks Dolphins live right here on the channel. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications to make sure you join us in time for kickoff. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Number 2 on our keys to victory for Seattle, establishing the run. We don't know about Kenneth Walker, his situation at the time of this recording, but we do know about a guy named Zach Charbonnet who has not looked so hot to begin the season. And granted, it hasn't all been his fault. The offensive line has been atrocious, but Zach Charbonnet has been held to just 2.3 yards per carry, 50 yards off of 22 carries. But bottom line is this. When you're the Seattle Seahawks, you go all the way back to 2022. When you run the football well, you win. Since then, the Seahawks are undefeated, 5-0, when rushing for 120 yards or more. that's tied for best in the National Football League. The Seahawks can do themselves a lot of favors. They can make life a lot easier on themselves if they establish the run and run the football effectively. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Last-minute tickets, Game Time's got you covered. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff on to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have their super deals. If you get a super deal, it's going to be one you don't want to pass up on. They have their seat views. You can get the visual, see what that seat is like. Still time to get tickets for Sunday's matchup against the Dolphins. You can do so on Game Time. Then you choose your seat after you pick the game you want. Get the visual, see what that seat is like, and then check out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Number 3, let's talk defense now. And for me, one thing I look to is going back to something that has been one of the biggest points of emphasis of this Mike Macdonald defense, and that is winning the down, making every play, making every down count. And if you look at what the Seahawks have done statistically so far this season, they're doing really good when it comes to points per game. Just 20 points allowed in the first 2 games. That includes an overtime game against New England. Opponents' yards per game, 6th in the league, 270.5. Opponents' points per play, 0.296. That's 11th best. Opponents' yards per play, 2nd in the league at 4.0. All those numbers are good. But then when we talk about the downs, that's when we start to see a little bit of a different story. Third down conversion percentage. They've been giving up a little bit too many third downs right now. 17th best in the league at 32.35%. Opponent fourth down conversion rate. Granted, small sample size, but 100% at 23rd in the NFL. Opponent red zone scoring percentage, 37.5%. That's 12th in the NFL, so that's pretty good. Opponent touchdowns per game, 1.5. That's 6th best in the NFL. So the Seahawks got to do what they can to win the down, not give up those third downs, not give up those fourth down conversions. And if they do that, then they're going to be in good shape. A couple more things to talk about here in just a moment of our keys to victory, as well as my prediction. But want to hear from you guys. Who will be the Seahawks MVP against the Dolphins this weekend? Weigh in, give me a name in the comment section, and let us know who you think that is. 2 more for you on our keys to victory. Exploiting the middle of the field. Hello, JSN. This is where JSN comes in. Also, Geno Smith, of course, at the quarterback position. But as the Seahawks have this matchup against Miami here, something comes to mind. And that is, who is the starting middle linebacker now for the Miami Dolphins? Oh, that's right, our old friend Jordan Brooks. And while he left, the Seahawks didn't want to bring him back. No hard feelings. Wish him nothing but the best, except for this week, obviously, with the Seahawks playing the Dolphins. But Seahawks fans, you guys know as well as anybody that Jordan Brooks, over the last 4 seasons, the reason why he is not a member of the Seattle Seahawks right now is how much he struggled in pass coverage. And that was such a big weakness for him. If I'm this Seattle team, I'm exploiting the middle of the field, and I'm throwing it right at the direction of Jordan Brooks. You look at the passing chart last week, and Geno was on it just everywhere, right? But if I were to zero in, look between the hashes. That's a lot of green right there, folks. I only see 2 incompletions that he had last week between the hashes. That's going to be Jordan Brooks' territory. That's going to be the ground he's covering. If I'm Geno, if I'm JSN, Noah Fant as well, I'm going right back after the middle of the field there as far as that goes. Get this. PFF puts out their grades each and every week. And right now, Geno's been so good at exploiting the middle of the field. He has a grade of a 90.8 medium passing game rate, passing game rating. 10 to 19 yards, according to Pro Football Focus. So far this season, we've seen Geno be at his best in that 10 to 19 range. So for me, that's what I'm looking at the Seahawks to do. Last on our list of keys to victory for Seattle, containing the cheetah. Tyreek Hill, one of the top players in the National Football League, the fastest player in the league. This guy is just a problem for every defense that has to face him. Tyreek Hill's been fantastic already to start this season. 10 catches for 154 yards and a touchdown. He is a threat. And if you take it a step further, going back to what he's done since 2013, the best recipe for a Dolphins win has been Tyreek Hill. In every game that he has had 100 yards receiving or more since 2013, including this year against the Jags, the Dolphins have won. It's pretty simple for the Miami Dolphins. If Tyreek Hill has a big day, they win. I know it's tough. Fastest player in the league and as good as he is, you have to minimize his impact. But I'm doing whatever I can. If I have to double team him, whatever I can to slow down Tyreek Hill, that to me is going to be huge for this Seattle Seahawks team. Before I reveal my prediction for this one, I want to hear from you guys. Who is a player that needs to have a big game against Miami? Weigh in the comments section. Let us know who you think that player is. So to recap, our keys to victory for the Seahawks: attacking Skylar Thompson, establishing the run, win the down on defense, exploit the middle of the field, and contain the cheetah. If the Seahawks do all those things, I feel pretty good about the Seahawks' chances this week. I got Seattle 25-17 and starting the season 3-0. If you enjoyed today's show, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. We will see you on our Seahawks watch party coming up on Sunday afternoon. Buster's Customs with a $100 super chat. Bang! Busters! 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 Everybody spam Busters in the chat. That means the Jungle Boot is happening with us reaching over 300. We didn't even get to the final segment before we got there. Everybody spam Busters in the chat. Busters, unbelievable. Unbelievable performance. $300 straight from Buster Customs today. I saw him in the comments out of the corner of my eye when we were in the middle of the segment, and he said something to the effect of Seahawks Today presented by Buster's Customs. Damn straight it is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Busters, thank you for supporting the show. Everybody spam Busters. Busters, I don't know if you want to nominate somebody or not, but I think at this point you need another spot for yourself. I think you just need to establish your territory. Mark your territory. I got to give you at least one more. If you want to nominate somebody, that's fine too. But I want to make sure that you get another one on there to have your territory established. Everybody spam Busters in the chat. Show him some love.
He said that helmet is mine, LOL.
Yeah, he's going hard for that helmet. I can tell you that much. I need to catch my breath for a second. I need to get a little cough drop in me.
You want me to take over?
Yeah. Smitty, take over for a second. While I go take care of myself. I'll go get the boot ready as well. Sure. And we will do that after the mailbag. While I'm gone, Smitty.
Make sure you guys get, well, the problem is if it's already a jungle boot, so we can't do a shot deal in the boot.
That's true. But, let's see. We're at 354 right now. If we get to 500, then I will do the marathon again. The marathon is the Jungle Boot. This is going to be a first in Seahawks Day history. A Jungle Boot, the beer boot with the liquor, and then the beer bong to follow, where I pick up one and then pick up the other and just keep going and going. We'll do the marathon if we get to 500.
Yeah.
Smitty's going to take over for a moment. I'm going to go get the boot ready. I'm going to get me a cough drop and clear my throat, and then we'll do this next segment. Smitty takes over.
Sounds like a plan. Now, guys, I need your help. We need more questions. We got a couple of good Super Chat questions, which are going to be featured. Those are the automatics that automatically get on our mailbag. But we need some more questions. What do you guys want to know about your Seahawks? Use hashtag Seahawks down in the comments section. And honestly, it could be about anything. Anything this season. Name a player. Name a player that's not in the Seahawks that maybe that you think they should go target. Ask us about them. Anything you want to know, as the Seahawks are 2-0 right now through 2 weeks. It's hashtag Seahawks. It'll give me the ability to pull those questions from the computer and put them on screen so we can answer your questions on today's mailbag. My bad, Busters. My bad, Busters. Thank you. Hashtag Seahawks. Get your questions in. What do you guys want to talk about? Anything out there. Shout out to Busters Customs, who's absolutely dominating on today's show and has been all season long. Season's early, though, my man. It's a battle of attrition. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But hey, we are more than loving of the contributions you've made so far. Chieferton, that's a good question. Chieferton, I believe yours, that you asked that earlier, so that's in there. Good job. Yeah, what trips is crazy, Mike. Like, I'm not even really gonna entertain that, just because like it's so far out. Like that's like asking to trade for Patrick Mahomes. Like I'm not obviously on that level, but like shout out to Ian as well, getting his question in with the super chat. Big move right there. Like we're not getting AJ Brown, man. There's no world where the Seahawks are trading for AJ Brown. Why would they trade for AJ Brown? Come on, let's be for real here. I know Tyler Lockett might be on his way out after this season, but AJ Brown's locked up long term in Philadelphia. It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. Seahawks have holes elsewhere on the roster that they need to fill. Ike, I like that question. Good stuff. Interesting question there from Matrix, because I mean they'd be 1-2. It'd be very interesting. I mean, you guys watched the Cardinals this past weekend, whoop up on the Rams. I know the Rams are whack, but man, Cardinals look good. That offense looking different this year. Maserati Marv, pretty solid. What if we had the opportunity to steal? See, Rilo, that's not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. Guys, I maybe was a little lax with the questions with what I said earlier. Keep it fairly realistic, right? Like I understand if there's a trade target out there that you'd like, we can talk about them. But AJ Brown and Trent Williams, let's be for real here, man. Let's be for real. And even if we were able to get Trent Williams, if he was why would the 49ers give him to us? Why would they trade Trent Williams in division? Let's think before we ask questions here. I'm not a believer in the Cardinals quite yet, says Ike, but like
neither am I.
Dude. For good reason, brother.
Yeah, well, it's because that midget they have running around trying to pretend to run an offense, your boy got a pick six off of him.
Pick six off him. Shout out our guy Trace Gerard, host of Saints Now. Saints Now also, listen, Trace, Saints, Seahawks, class of the NFC.
We'll see you in the NFC Championship.
We'll see you in the NFC Championship. We'll see you in January.
We'll see you at the NFCCG, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Saints and Hawks, class of the NFC.
Clearly the two best teams.
Clearly the two best teams, 2-0.
It's obvious, you know.
Now, I'm not going to lie, Trace's Saints, they've looked more impressive than our Seahawks so far through 2 games. They've beaten some good opponents. I mean, good opponents. Not the Panthers week 1. Let me backtrack that.
I'll be honest. I was never high on the Saints.
Yeah.
To begin the season, I still think the Seahawks team is better than that Saints team, even though they've got these 2 really good wins to start the season.
An offensive 180 from them, though. I mean, just hiring in Clint Kubiak. I mean, they've been good, man.
All right.
They've been good.
So, did we answer Ian's super chat while I was gone?
We did not. But I will pull it. It's just a question for the mailbag, so I didn't want to get crazy with it yet. But
yeah.
Shout out to Ian here.
Ian will answer that in the mailbag, but we will sing the old Macdonald song. Old MacDonald had a farm. C-I-E-I Hawks. All right. So, we got the Jungle Boot here. and we will pay this off after the mailbag segment. The guys told me, as I was getting the Jungle Boot ready, you needed to add some Seahawks sauce to it. So that's why it's blue.
Ooh.
So this is a little mixture. Jungle Boot, little Seahawks sauce together. And
Rilo, that's a better question.
Yeah. So now we're 140 away from the marathon of the Jungle Boot, followed by the Beer Bong, back-to-back. And we got one more segment to go. So could we do a Jungle Boot and Seahawks sauce? You have to wait and see. Up next, it's our final segment, our mailbag. We will answer your questions, whatever you guys got. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get out the mailbag portion of the show. And then we'll wrap up and call it a day here on this Wednesday edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Jones and Smitty here with you. Thanks for joining us here on the channel today.
I think we're ready.
All right. Well, further ado, got my voice cleared up. We're all ready to go. Let's get to our mailbag right now here on Seahawks Today. Here we go. It's time for another mailbag edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. You got questions. I got answers. It is time to touch our bags and drop our sacks and get right to it, as you guys have all sorts of stuff that you sent us our way, some trade ideas, some thoughts on this Seahawks team, where things are at right now, where they go from here. We'll answer them here in just a matter of moments. This comes from our Wednesday live show that we do each and every week at 6 o'clock Eastern and 3 o'clock Pacific here on the channel. And if you are a diehard Seahawks fan, you got to be subscribed and make sure you join us each and every week for our Seahawks Today live shows. And you, too, can be a part of our next mailbag show. The folks that have their notifications turned on, they're the first to know when we have new content here on Seahawks Today, when we go live, when we have breaking news. So, not only should you subscribe, but turn on notifications and be alerted when we drop a new video. Type Noti Gang if you're part of the Noti Gang in the comments section, and we'll get going here on today's show. Ian with a $5 super chat writes in, hashtag Seahawks, you think Christian Haynes will slowly take over the starting right guard position? I think he's got a very good chance because we haven't seen a whole lot from Anthony Bradford. I believe the snap count, if I remember right, was around 15 offensive snaps for Christian Haynes this past week. And we heard Mike Macdonald say that this competition between the two is not over, that Christian Haynes will still have a chance to prove himself and earn playing time and potentially could take over that starting role. So unless Anthony Bradford starts to show us something different, Christian Haynes is going to be right there on his heels unless Bradford improves. As I've said from the beginning, I don't care who wins this starting right guard job. I just want somebody to play well at this starting right guard position. And right now, we don't have that at the moment. Matrix with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Matrix. With what you have seen so far with the Seahawks in the first 2 weeks, what is your record for them? So Smitty and I were breaking this down, and you think about this. Okay, they're 2-0 right now. They should beat the Dolphins this upcoming week. That puts them at 3-0. All right? So then you have 14 games left. And I said at the beginning of the year I thought they were about a 10-7 football team. At that point, you just need to win 7 out of your last 14, go 500. And we know they're going to face some tough teams. You got to play the Niners twice, right? Among a number of teams you'll face. I think they can go 500 in that stretch. I think 10-7 is still very doable at this point. I think they're in great shape for that. 10-7 would be the number I'd put out there. Beta YT. Always good to see you, Beta YT. Thanks for sending in the question. Hashtag Seahawks. How long you think people will keep overlooking the Seahawks? Shoot, I hope they do. We always seem to win when overlooked. Beta, very good question. And here's the thing. With the Seahawks at 2-0, there's not too many teams that are 2-0 right now. And if you win this upcoming week, then you're at 3-0, and there's not going to be a whole lot of teams that are 3-0 as well. Then you start to have everybody's attention. Our Chat Sports Power Rankings this week, I think the Seahawks were like 8th, and that's what most people are putting the Seahawks in power rankings, is about 7th or 8th, somewhere along those lines. So with that said, you're going to put the rest of the league on notice. You're going to have everybody's full attention if you win this next week and you're 3-0. So I don't think that it is lasting very long of people forgetting about the Seattle Seahawks if they keep on winning like this. Stand Up 12s writes in, could the Seahawks trade for Devon White? So Devon White spent a lot of years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, joins the Philadelphia Eagles, and we have not seen him play with Philadelphia at this point. And Devon White is a guy that is a very talented player, pretty decent linebacker. It's an odd situation of what's gone on there with Philly. And he's coming off a solid season in Tampa Bay last year. We had 83 tackles, 2.5 sacks. The year prior to that, 124 tackles, 5.5 sacks. If Philly is not going to use him, if there's not a role for him with that Philadelphia Eagles team, then I think that's a conversation that's worth having. Remember, Jerome Baker's already banged up. Terrell Dodson, he's been banged up some in the offseason here. You got to start preparing yourselves for other options. If God forbid, something happens and these guys aren't available when it counts later in the year, Devon White, I think, would be a good fit. So, yeah, I would like to see that potentially with Devon White. We'll get to this next question on Robert Woods in just a moment. But let's ask you guys first. Should the Seahawks trade for Devon White? Type T for trade, P for pass. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Seahawks for Life writes in, would it make sense for the Seahawks to trade for Robert Woods? So Robert Woods has had a solid career, no doubt about it, with a couple of different teams. But now he's kind of on the trade block in Houston as he's been kind of phased out of their offense. You can see last year, 40 catches, 426 yards. The year prior, 53 catches, 527 yards, 2 touchdowns, 45 catches, 21 in 2021, 556 yards, 4 touchdowns. But with that said, he's gotten older, and the Seahawks, I think, the wide receiver position is a position of strength. I know that Robert Woods is being mentioned pretty much for every single team. That's why it's being asked here of Seattle at this point. But I just don't see it. I think they're in a great spot. I love the three-headed monster with DK, Lockett, and JSN. And then Jake Bobo. Man, he's a solid 4 receiver. I just don't know where you get Robert Woods on the field in this offense. And having to give up something for him, to me, I just don't see that happening. Should the Seahawks trade for Robert Woods? Type Y for yes, N for no. Let us know if you think that's a deal they should make or not. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the best place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed, whether you're looking for tickets for sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more. Game Time has got you covered. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals and great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's going to be one you don't want to pass up on, folks. They have their seat views, so you can get the visual, see what your seat is like. Maybe you want to go to the Seahawks-Dolphins game this weekend. Maybe you want to go to a Mariners game, Seattle Storm game. They got it all. Choose your seat. See what that seat is like. Check out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Jefferton writes in, do you think Draymond Jones is still hurt and that's what is affecting his production, or is he simply a poor fit in Mike's scheme? Go Hawks. I think it's too early to tell. 2 weeks in, hard to say. He's had a couple flashes, but nothing consistent at this point. I don't think he would be playing if he was straight up not healthy, if he was hurt. But as far as being a poor fit goes, I just think that's too early to tell. Mike Macdonald, excuse me, has some ideas in mind, between using him on the D-line, using him as an outside backer. I think it just might take a little more time with him. We'll see. Banana writes in, offensive line is the biggest issue, but I think tight end is up there. Excuse me. Is there any notable names on the draft or potential sign and trade? One name to keep an eye on as far as trade goes is what happens with the Falcons here. Excuse me. Sorry, folks. Give me a second. All right. Let me get a drink of water, then we'll answer this question. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Banana writes in, offensive line the biggest issue, but I think tight end is up there. Is there any notable names in the draft or potential sign and trade? The name that I would watch, depending on the Falcons situation, if the Falcons are a contending team, if they're a playoff team, they're not going to move on from Kyle Pitts. But if they look like the team that we saw week 1 against Pittsburgh, then Kyle Pitts could be a potential option at the trade deadline. So I would keep tabs on Kyle Pitts. I don't think it's likely, but I don't think it's impossible. Last question comes from, is Tyler Lockett's last season with us? All signs kind of lean that direction, that it's probably his last season. The cap hit doesn't look good for next year. We'll see where things go from there. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now. We'll see you next time. Folks, I don't know what's hit me. Goodness. Just talking so much, it's all hit me.
Maybe we shouldn't do a jungle boot.
Oh, we'll get through. We'll get through. All right. We made it happen. All right. All right, folks. Just need a second. Golly. I feel fine, but I just loosened my breath. Just talking too much as far as that goes. But, hey, we're all fine. Should the Seahawks trade for Robert Woods? Smitty, I'm leaning towards it no on this. I just don't see the need.
No. The Seahawks don't have a need at receiver, in my opinion. I know they signed a couple of guys today. I'm just not seeing it, man. You have 4 really solid receivers. You have Laviska Shenault in there as well. I don't see any need to add a receiver to this team. I really don't. I see there's so many more needs elsewhere. I mean, like, even Devon White would be somebody I'd rather grab over Robert Woods. But, like, I think both those players suck, honestly. I think they're ass.
Yeah, I can see that.
At this point, like in Robert Woods' career, the guy's damn near 40. Devon White, I think, has been overrated for about 3-4 years now. I'm out on both those cats. They're whack.
Buster says, add Mike Daney to the boot.
Shout out, Mike.
Mike, welcome to the Emerald Club, the newest member.
I believe we did get a new super chat as well. That
yes,
came in.
Mike, welcome in. Everybody spam Mike in the chat. Mike, welcome to the Emerald Club, man. Much love to you.
Shout out, Caleb.
I got the hat. Thanks. Go Hawks. Glad you got the hat, Caleb. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully it looks good on you. All right. So here's what we're going to do.
Also, we got Rilo sitting in a 5 as well.
Rilo with the 5. We'll do the old McDonald song for him.
I wish this came in time for the mailbag, my man.
Who would the best replacement for Laken Tomlinson if they were put Christian Haynes in Bradford's spot? Well,
maybe Phil Haynes.
Yeah, Phil Haynes. I guess that would be it. As much as that hates to say. McClendon Curtis, possibly.
Oh, dear God. You know who I want to see in there? The rookie, Satoa Lamea.
Yeah.
I would probably throw him there as well.
He's been kind of pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's been quiet. I feel like this is a guy who they just haven't given a shot yet, and I think he needs one.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm putting 2 minutes on the clock. If we get $140, about $140 in the next 2 minutes, then this is going to be a jungle boot followed by the beer bong. We'll do the marathon. If not, that's okay. I'll just do the jungle boot. 2 minutes on the clock. We'll do that, then we'll get out of here. As we wrap up and call it a day here. Smitty, what's on the dinner menu tonight?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. I mean, I got a couple of things I could make. I could make myself a burger or two, or or maybe some eggs that I have in the fridge. That'd be nice. Maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll throw an egg on a burger. Get real wild with it.
I love eggs on burgers.
Eggs on burgers are so fire. I'm a huge breakfast burger guy. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a burger. So fire.
I think that's the best burger. Is a, what do they call that? A farm burger?
Some could call it farmhouse. Some call it a sunrise. Some call it a breakfast.
Oh! Buster Customs says drink up. Nitsu says get the Uber ready.
Buster with a $140 super chat.
Bang!
Let's
Busters!
go.
Busters! Busters! Everybody spam Busters in the chat. Busters.
Let's go, Busters.
That's incredible.
Are you kidding me?
That's incredible. Busters, who do you want in the Emerald Club this time? Let us know and we'll induct them. Nitsu Trigger says, "Get the Uber ready." Oh, it's ready. It's ready for my departure. Waiting outside right now. Busters, let me know who you want to induct, and then we'll pay this off accordingly. Buster says, "Wrap my helmet up." He's already ready for this helmet. This helmet's going to be yours. I don't think anyone's coming close. It's a pretty sick helmet too, might I add.
Throwback.
Yes, the throwback helmet that we'll give away at the end of the month. Busters, let me know who you want. We'll induct them, and then we will do the marathon. I'll just go ahead. He says Nitsu.
Nitsu, you're in, brother. Is he?
And Nitsu's already got his own spot he bought.
Okay.
So, Nitsu, another spot in the Emerald Club. Nitsu, welcome back. Everybody spam Nitsu.
Let's go.
Hey, I love it. Steve, by the way, Steve, I have a question for you. Your avatar, is that the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma logo? That sure looks like it. The reason why I ask, I'm a part of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. That's why I recognize it. Is that your avatar here? I got to get this up close and see. Yes, it is. Are we brothers, Steve? Are we related? What a crazy world that is.
That would be crazy. What the hell?
Yeah, I didn't expect to see that. Steve, are you Choctaw too? That's wild. That's crazy, man. All right. So, without further ado, here's what we'll do. So, I'm going to do the Jungle Boot. And then we're going to do the beer bong. I'll go ahead and pour up the beer bong right now. And we'll do the marathon here. Can we do this in 30 seconds? 30 seconds for the marathon. The boot followed by the beer bong back to back. Can we make it happen? O for over, U for under. Smitty's going to do the play-by-play. He's going to keep the timer. Everybody get chug in the chat. Let's pay this off and get out of here today. Here we go.
All right, you guys know how this thing rolls. I'm getting the stopwatch out. See how Tyler can do this in. If he can do this in 30 seconds, that'd be tough. I mean, he's playing a flu game right now as well, so.
Oh, all right.
Here we go. You guys know I already got it here.
All right, here we go.
O for under, O for over, U for under.
5, 4.
Here we go.
3.
Here we go.
2, 1.
And we are off. Jones with the Seahawks sauce jungle boot. Shout out to Buster's Customs for single-handedly getting us there, but everybody else helping around the margins. We're 12 seconds in, and Jones is cooking. He's almost done with the boot. This could be a less than 20-second boot, and it is. He's got to go now to the beer bong. And it looks like he's going to get this easy money under 30 seconds. Can he get it done? And it's done. 27.05.
Yeah!
Bang.
Let's go.
Whoa.
There we go. All right. We got to get out of here.
All right.
Been a fun show today.
It's been a crazy show today.
Crazy show today. Y'all, I need you one last time. For Buster Customs, spam BC in the chat.
Yeah.
Show some love for Busters, our MVP today.
My guy, Busters.
Unbelievable performance. Making it happen. I'm playing it. I'm playing hurt. We're still doing it. We're still doing the thing.
Playing hurt.
Smitty, great job as always.
Appreciate you, my man.
12s. Thanks for hanging out with us. Buster Customs, you're a real one, my guy. Make sure to join us coming up Sunday. We will be live. Seahawks, Dolphins, right here on Seahawks Today. Our coverage beginning at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. We will see you then. For Tyler Smith, I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great night, everybody. So long.